Good morning, YouTubers. Today is going to
Order
be
canceled.
day 3 of testing out this new gold line trading bot developed by Robert Anderson. So I've got it loaded up here on the screen. The RTY. So just really quickly, my setup this morning is going to be the NQ here on the left, oil here in the middle, and the RTY over here on the right. We did set up for a 5-minute gold line trade on a short, but it did not activate. Obviously, you can see it ripping upwards right now. So let's see, maybe if we get into a 5-minute red line, which, as you guys know, I love. But for now, let's play the intro and we'll be right back. All right, we're back. Just as a disclaimer, nothing that I say is financial advice. And we're just here. I'm here for entertainment purposes and to hopefully learn and to grow the community, help other traders, and show what this system is all about. So I've got a lot of updates that I'd like to share with you guys on this trading bot. So where do I start? And then obviously if a trade setup happens, what my plan is to blow up that screen, or I should say that chart, so it takes up the entire page, just so you guys can kind of see what's happening. I know, trust me, I look at the videos once I put them out there, that it's a little difficult to see everything that's going on right now in this view. But hopefully once a trade activates, I will open up the screen so you can kind of see what happened prior, why we're getting into that trade, and you can see the targets and stop losses. So here's an update. The trading bot that I purchased from, I should say I rented, because you're not really purchasing it. He does have this on a monthly subscription, Bob Anderson. I will link his website. Actually, I'll link his Facebook page below, just so if anybody wants to take a look at his strategy. He's the creator of this. He's developed it. He put it out there. And if you go onto the site, I think it's goldlinetrades.com. If you go onto the site, he is still selling the indicator, which is this, which you're looking at, which it's helpful. But if you watch his videos and you're going to be doing this manually anyways, I almost feel like you should be doing this kind of on your own. I don't even know if you need the indicator. But obviously the trading bot, you definitely need that, without a doubt. It comes with it, so I mean, there's no option there. So where was I going with this? Some of the updates. Well, if you go onto the website, I don't know if this happened yesterday or maybe the day before, but now if you go to purchase the subscription, it is saying that it is sold out. And what is happening is not necessarily that it has sold out, but he kind of needed to just kind of put a pause on the subscriptions, just because I think he was a little bit overwhelmed with what with all of the activity that this has been generating. Give me 1 second, guys. I'm just gonna put in a
Order submitted.
Want to put in a trade here on oil,
Order submitted.
which is I just found my setup here for my 9 to 10 a.m. trade. Again, it's on a different screen, so you're not looking at that, guys. But My video is going to be released tomorrow on my morning oil trade. I really, really like it. It's been fantastically very profitable for me. So I want to share that with the community, and hopefully you guys see some value with that as well. So to get back to the website, he has been, he got overwhelmed with the amount of orders, the amount of interest that this trading bot, Auto Trader, generated, and with good reason. I mean, he's been not say promoting it, but he's been like kind of demoing it with us in his videos over the last few months, and people were excited about it. Shit, I was super excited about it. I ordered it the first day, and I'm actually kind of happy I did, because it looks like I don't necessarily know when this might be available again. I'm assuming soon, because I'm sure he wants to capitalize on all of the interest as well. But with that being said, no major release like this goes out without any quirks, and this system has definitely had some of its quirks. They're each instrument. Okay, so let's just say the RTY, the oil, the NQ, YN, the Dow. He's got gold. I don't see it. I haven't seen a strategy yet for the ES, which is kind of strange. I'm sure that's. I know it's been a difficult instrument to trade, so maybe that just hasn't passed like the profitability test for him in his back testing. But each instrument has its own strategy, so it has its own parameters as far as what it's looking for in a stop loss, in take profit, and he's got different parameters for different EMAs. So he's got one for a 1 minute gold line, he's got a 5 minute gold line, he's got a 5 minute red line, and all of those three things have different parameters for the strategy.
Order canceled.
So, all right, I just got into this oil trade. Let me just make my changes here really quick. Okay, so I got that trade set with all of the stop losses and stuff like that, so I'm good. So I like that, because that tells me that he has obviously been back testing each one of the instruments with different types of stop losses, different types of trailing stops, target profit targets for the different EMAs. And so that's awesome. And when you purchase the system, he also sends you, obviously, the indicator and the strategy. The trading bot is sent in as a trade. In a file format meant for NinjaTrader, and was able to get that installed. Wasn't easy. There were some instructions that were missing, but I have enough experience with NinjaTrader that I was able just to figure it out by myself. Got it loaded, and then I also noticed that there was another zip file that had the templates for each one of the instruments for the ATM strategy, which is not really an ATM strategy. It's more of the template for the strategy that is in the back end that you're seeing. So I'll just pull up here CL so you know what I'm talking about. These are all of the settings that are put into the system. Okay. So I'm like, okay, I loaded that. Even the first 2 days of me trading this, I have been trading it with the template settings that were sent and that were available on the site. So long story short, those settings were not right. He's made a few videos after that letting us know that there was kind of a mix up there, and he then did something that I thought was a little bit, it was smart. It was, it's probably a Band-Aid, but it hopefully fixes the problem. If you go on his website, so let me see if I can pull up the site here, throw it on the screen. There we go. I don't know if you guys can see this very well, but on his site, which is goldlinetrades.com, he has added a section here for tools where he's got the 5 instruments that he's back tested, and that he has instructions for each one of these templates. So if I pull up oil, here are all the settings that he is now saying are correct. So what I did was I printed out all of those settings now that are on his site, and I compared them to what I've actually been trading, and they were, completely different. And, part of me was like, maybe that's why you don't trade this on, I know it was a Top Step evaluation account, but I'm like, maybe that was just a dumb idea. I was excited. I've told you guys I was excited about the system. When you get excited, sometimes you make some bad decisions. But in general, the system still did okay. So, I know I've documented that, this is going to be the third day. But day one took a profit of $190 on one S&P trade. Yesterday when I left the video, when I concluded the video, I had one losing trade and I had 2 break-even trades. And I've been talking about in the prior videos that I thought maybe that the auto stops were a little bit too aggressive, and even though they did help me yesterday for the most part, but I still felt like there was the trades needed a little bit more room. So when I compared what I was trading, the settings that I was trading off of versus what was on his updated on his updated strategy templates on his website, then things started to kind of make sense a little bit more, where it takes the auto stop or the auto trailer off on certain trades. On other trades, it's still there. Seems like it gives it a little bit more room, so I was happy with that. But after I finished my recordings yesterday, I left the system running, and it took I want to say it took 3 more trades. And I ended up actually being down for the day $455, where at the end of my video, I think I was only down, I don't know, $50 or something like that. It was, obviously manageable loss, very small loss. So, and again, and not every system's going to win every day, or, it's not going to be profitable every day. But to be fair, I know that the system had the settings incorrect, which was not my fault. I loaded them as the information that we had, but now with the updated settings, which is what we have here today, took me actually a shitload of time to do that, just because I had to go in manually on every single instrument and get all of these settings, put in these settings according to what the website was. And then what I did is I saved these as a new template for that instrument. So I don't necessarily have to do this anymore. Obviously, what Bob is saying is that once a month, he is going to go in and based on the performance of the system for the last probably 30 days or sooner, he is going to keep coming up with updated settings. So, I'm assuming maybe once a month I got to go in there and change that. But those are going to be now really small tweaks, I think, that need to be done, where what I just had to do took me a pretty good amount of time. So now that we have the settings in right, there's a few other things that I think everybody should know. And one of the scenarios, so you know what, I'm just going to open it. I'm going to throw this website up again. Hopefully you guys can see this, but so I'm just going to pull up the settings for the NQ. Okay. And here are your settings. You could find this on his website, Gold Line Trades. Just go into Tools, and you guys can see the same thing that's on here, just in case you can't see it very clear on the screen. But he's got, for the first trade, which is the 1 minute gold line, which is more of a continuation trade, start time at noon. Okay. For the 5 minute gold line, he's got the starting time at 9:45. And for the 5 minute red line, he's got it starting at 10:30 in the morning. So this system isn't going to take, based on the default settings, is not going to take a trade until 9:45, based on this. Now, my question has been, is this New York time, or is this already just taken into account local time? I don't think it is. I haven't been able to get a response yet from customer service on there. I know he's swamped, and you know, this is not me saying anything negative. I'm okay with that. What I did was I went in and I adjusted all of these times to Central Time. So it pretty much took an hour away, where this would actually start at 8:45, which to me makes a lot more sense than some of these other trades. End time of 2 p.m. over 3 p.m. makes sense to me. There was another trade here where we had 3:30, which makes sense. It would make sense New York time, but not my time, because I definitely wouldn't want to have anything open after 3. So I adjusted everything to Central Time. I'm hoping that that's correct. I think it's correct. So with that being said, trades now start a little bit later. So the green line is when the trade, when the system is now looking for trades. Okay. And like I said, the NQ, he's got it starting much later. Let's see what the NQ, got these all printed out. The NQ looks like it starts, well, I still got it there at 9:45, 8:45, so the NQ should be looking, but I don't see that green line there, so I don't know, maybe I'm wrong on that green line starting point. Don't think I am. Oh, maybe it's this green line. Oh, there it is. So it's this green line that signifies the start time. Does that make sense? NQ, one starts at 11. I thought one starts at 8:45. So not sure about that. I would think 8:45 is, oh yeah, 8:45 is here. So yeah, this green line is when the system starts looking for the 5 minute gold line trade. There it is. Okay, so that makes now much more sense. And then this one is starting the next trade, which is, I believe, the 5 minute red line, which it is, yes. All right, so that's right. So there is a green line that shows when certain trades kind of become active. So he doesn't want all 3 of them to be active. Some of them are active at the same time, but majority of them, he's got it spaced out where, based on his back testing, certain trades just have a higher probability, and that's what the starting times is for. I'm good with that. My only question, of course, was the whole, local time versus New York time. But I do think that this is right. So how much these settings are going to make a difference, I don't know. I'm going to be obviously trading this today, and I'm going to trade it tomorrow. My idea has been for the channel is to do a small account challenge just using this Goldline trading bot, fund it with $2,000, and just trade the micros on there and see what the system can do in 30 days. So what I personally haven't had enough time is that I would like to do my own back testing. I've been so swamped at work and getting this channel kind of up and going that I haven't had much time to back test it. But I definitely, if I'm going to put money into this, like real money, which some people might bash me on that, saying that's dumb trading. Maybe it is. But I would like to backtest this and see truly what instruments are doing the best. I'm going to limit it to just 2 because this is kind of crazy. Each one of these has a $300 max loss per day. And if you were to have just a shit day and everything was to tank, which I know would be almost impossible, but if it did, you'd be like $900 down, and that's pretty with commissions. I might even hit my stop loss on my top step, because all 3 of these right now are on the eval account. Okay, so I'm kind of banking that would be a very unlikely scenario, but it is what it is. When going into cash, I definitely would just be on 2 of these instruments, and I would like to see what instruments perform the best and give the system the best opportunity it can to, one, make me some money, make the system look good, because that's obviously going to help if it's profitable. So those are my ideas. I'm hoping that between today and tomorrow and kind of what I've seen before, which take that for a grain of salt, those settings I don't think were right. I'd like to see where we are at come Monday. And I'm not sure how I'm going to do the video, because I've got to figure out some editing situations where there's not such a large lag time between trades. Like, this video is going on 23 minutes and I don't even have a setup here. Now, granted, the new settings might have limited the setups that I'm going to be looking out for, which is maybe a good thing for the trades, bad thing for a YouTube channel. When there's not much activity going on, I'd like to be able to show you guys how the system is taking some trades. So it would be nice for this to activate, but it is what it is. If it's the setups are not there, the setups are not there, and I don't want. I would like the system to perform at its absolute best. So those are my thoughts for the channel. Those are my thoughts for next week on Monday. Hopefully you guys get some entertainment out of this, get some knowledge out of this. Unfortunately, if you love this system personally right now, it's not available. And if I go here to the home page and I click on shop all, you can see that the indicator is still available at $175. But the trading bot, which is what we are using right now, for $350 a month, currently says sold out. And it's not necessarily that it's sold out. It's just that he's like, hey, wait a second. I need a pause. We need to figure some stuff out and make sure that this is all right, which I'm perfectly fine with. I think that's a pretty good idea to do. So I'm just taking a look at this oil trade that's still going. I'm up in profit, which is nice. Up $100. So let's see. All right, so the
Order submitted.
all right. Well, speaking of that, so let me blow up the NASDAQ. So this is the NQ. This is a 5-minute gold line that just got pierced with this candle right here, which is the black candle, and an order has been submitted for a short.
Order canceled.
And it just got canceled. So, he's looking for a stepped up approach to a short. So if you get a quick wick down, seems to cancel out those trades. So it did not activate here, which kind of sinks because I kind of like that trade. There's a good amount of room there. It's a 5-minute goal line trade, which I think has got the second best accuracy in my opinion. First is the red, yellow, and then the 1-minute goal line. So definitely didn't get into this trade here, which kind of stinks because in my opinion there's enough room here for a trade and a decent pullback. So again, I don't know. I don't know necessarily. I can't tell you exactly why. I do know that he likes the stepped in approach, so he would have liked this to maybe for this to have been the signal bar without it wicking out past the kind of the, I don't know what we would call this, like the strategy bar, because this is the one that wicked in. So I think if this would have stayed higher than the low of this candle, we still would have stayed in that trade and we would have been activated into the trade. Now, obviously, if this reverses, we probably would have been knocked out. But if we get a continuation to the downward, that would have been a profitable trade. So I understand now. I mean, again, you kind of need to know his system, where you can find all his videos online. And I mean, put a comment down below, like why do you think that this didn't activate here? My feeling is this needed to stay higher than this low, which is his kind of activation candle. This would have been, this I think would have been the activation candle right here. If this would have stayed higher than the 15035 number, I think if the next red candle, which was this one, it would have activated the trade. That's my interpretation of it. So bring it back down here. Nothing's happening here on oil. And the RTY has been very quiet. So I don't know, maybe the new settings have adjusted the frequency of trading. It seemed like yesterday I was getting a lot more opportunities. Granted,
Order canceled.
Off of video, took more trades, but not necessarily didn't take profitable trades. So something triggered and then canceled right away. Which again, I think it's the same scenario here. If this candle wouldn't have pierced the low of here, I think we would have been able to stay with the trade here. Okay, I think that's what it is. It's making sense to me. Give me a comment below. Let me know what you guys think. I mean, even the ones that have been trading this manually, I mean, that to me would have been a scenario where man, maybe I do take the trade manually there, but based strictly off the system, I don't think you do. Let me know what you guys think. I'm at $150 positive on my oil trade right now, which would be great. Hit another 200. Today's been a fantastic day, so let's get talking about that. Had a $200 positive oil trade for 20 points. What time was that at? 8:35. On that on a 5 minute chart on oil. Took a trade at 8:35 for 20 points, and then took another trade at 9:15 that I am currently up $130. And both of those are cash accounts. And I took a NASDAQ trade at 8:35, which is 5 minutes after my open at Central Time. And that trade wasn't on this system. It was on my cash account on my morning strategy. But I'm trying to see which way it was a short right here. Nope, I'm sorry, right here. This was my short candle right there, and got that for $250 on the short down. That strategy's been fantastic for me. So yeah, it's been a good morning. As you know, yesterday I lost on the cash account. I lost on the prop account. So it wasn't the greatest of days, but I was also frustrated with Ninja Trader yesterday. I was having an issue with oil. I've called them a few times. They had me do some type of system update, which changed all of my all the accounts and everything how I had it set up. It kind of throws everything off to sim, and then I got to go into each individual one. If you know Ninja Trader, you know what I'm talking about. You got to go into every single one, redo those settings, and was frustrated because yesterday I wanted to get into a trade, and I'm gonna take my oil. Let's close it out. Give me another. I hate it when I'm 2 ticks away from a take profit, and typically I would just close it, but I've been trying to trade a little bit more systematic and just let targets hit. So is what it is. Let's see here what happens. So I was a little annoyed with them. I was frustrated. I felt frustrated. And one thing that I've, obviously watched or read, I think I read it in Douglas's book. What's it called? What's the name of the book, man? Trading in the Zone. I think it's Trading in the Zone. I could be butchering that, but I remember reading that one. It's a great book. And you kind of have to have the right train of you got to be in the right state of mind to trade. If you're frustrated or you have anything outside influences that are affecting your day, those can, that can affect your trading. And I should have realized that yesterday, and just maybe, well, I really wanted to see how the strategy did yesterday. It was only my second day of having it on, so I did want to see how that worked out. But in general, if you're frustrated, and I got frustrated with my trading platform, I probably should have walked away with it. Not to say that the trades would have gone any other way. because I don't think I made revenge trades. I know for a fact I didn't, because my strategy really doesn't even allow me to do that anymore, which is great. But it's, it's a lesson
Order
learned.
submitted.
All right, so we finally got some action here on the RTY. Let's take a look at what we're looking at here. So we've got a piercing, it looks like, of the 1 minute goal line. And just so you guys know, on the RTY, I adjusted my contract size to 2 on oil, and on the NQ, I still have those set to 1. Remember that this is my Top Step evaluation account on here, so it's not necessarily real money, cash money, but it is not sim in the sense of I don't care, if it wins or lost. Like, this is my eval account, so which is actually pretty close to another funded status on this one. So this is, it's important to me not to screw this up. So there is
Order
something
submitted.
on the line. And we are in the trade. We are in this trade here right now on the Russell, the RTY. I've got a pretty aggressive take profit. So here's the trade. It took it in at 1727.9. It's looking for a take profit at 1724.5, so roughly 3.5. Yep, 3.5. And it's got a stop loss, which just trailed, so it's coming down. I wish I would have said what the original trail was, but the trail right now is at 1728, and so about a $2 difference. I want to say maybe it was originally at $3 or $2.50, which was the stop. So let's see what happens here. I changed I changed it from ticks to currency. Again, somebody on YouTube said don't look at P&L on your chart, and I switched everything to just ticks or points, and I didn't like it. You know what? I did not like it. I for some reason I like to see the currency. I like to see where I'm at in my P&L. So the trailing stop right there just came back down. Looks like not much. So maybe 0.3. I'm not much into profit yet, so I'm in a loss right here right now. But this is we're at a pivot here. So we are going to be, if we can break this here, yeah, this target might look smart, but that's a pretty aggressive target here. So I'm down $40 on the trade right now, back down to break even. Let's see what happens. This would be a great one for the system to show what it can do. And I say it's an aggressive target just because it's an aggressive target. There's price hasn't been there, and I'm a big believer that price likes to go where it's been. But again, we break this we break this swing here, and this could definitely be in play. But so can my stop. I think my stop is more in play than the take profit is in play. Let's just put it to you that way, which is not what you probably want to see.
Order canceled.
So unfortunately, yeah, hit my stop. So that is a losing trade on the Russell. The nice thing that the system does is it'll kind of give you a little breakdown of the performance of that trade. And wouldn't it be something if this just rips here? Which is fine. If it does, fine if it does. Fine if it doesn't. But let's see here. There, look at that. Interesting little... One thing that does bother me about the system is it shows the order twice, and it's been doing that on all of the instruments. I'm not sure why, but it's actually it's a little confusing. Like the entries here, the stop is here. I mean, I've just learned to disregard one of them, but I mean, there's got to be something there. Look at this. And what was that? It took me out by a tick. So again, he's got the stop loss that is trailing you, and it could be a good thing, could be a bad thing, but I mean that took me out literally by a tick. So that was brutal. And here we go. Look at that rip downwards here. I believe that my take profit was going to be... my entry was here at 27, so 24... 24.9, I believe it was at... Or 24.4, I can't remember. But it would have been somewhere right around here, which came pretty close. Which would have been a juicy hit. So performance stats on that one. Let's take a look here. Let's blow this up. That trade took me out for negative 16 ticks, and I lost $80 on that on 2 contracts of the RTY. So there you go. Let's put this guy back in its place. You, my friend, did not do very good over here on the chart, but that's okay. But that's a example of how the system is working here. And this oil trade's taking forever. Up $120. It was a tick or two away from my take profit, but that's the way the cookie crumbles sometimes. All right, what else? So yeah, that's my plan. Tomorrow I'm going to release my oil strategy. Hopefully you guys enjoy that. On Monday, I plan on having this trade the cash account on the micros. So like, I would be okay losing $16 on 2 micro contracts here instead of $80 on 2. I mean, $2,000. The risk, you shouldn't be putting that much risk out. I mean, you could be putting 10% of your capital very easily on that lower amount of a starting balance. And I'm okay. I mean, I'm okay if the system can make you... I think they say if the system, or if your trading makes you $45 a day, that equates to $1,000 per month, and that's assuming 20 trading days or 21 trading days. Let me fact check myself. Let me bring up my calculator here. So we got $45 a day, roughly 20. How many trading days are there in a month? I thought there was 20, or they say 21. So roughly that 900. I think it's 950, close to 950 a month. So here's something to think about. And saw this on a YouTube video that have you made $1,000 in a month trading? That's a good question. Have you? Some people make 900 in a day, and then the next day they lose 1,500. Some people make 40, 40, 40, 40, and then have a losing day of 350, and you've got nothing left to show at the end of the month. You make 45, you make 50, you make $75 a month, you make $30 a day. At the end of the month, I mean, that's going to accumulate to be a pretty decent month. If that's what your capital is to start with. I mean, if you're trading with $5,000 or $7,000 in your trading account, I mean, obviously at that point your goal is $200 to $300, which is where, to be honest with you, that's generally what I'm looking for. Is I'm generally between the 250 and 400 per day is my take profit, and my is what what I'm trying to make per day, and then my max loss typically is around 250 per day. So based on my risk versus reward, a lot of my trades are 1-to-1, so I just want to put that out there. I do have a natural gas setup that I like to take. And my oil, man, another
target filled.
Thank you very much. So just took in another $200 on oil on the cash account. So cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching. That was a good day today on the cash account. That's such a great day on the trading bot. But it's only one trade, so let's let's be patient with it. Video's going at about 45 minutes. I'll give this another 10 or 15 minutes to hopefully grab another trade. I will, put this video out here today. And mainly, I think mainly these videos are catered towards people that have been watching Robert Anderson's channel and are curious to see what the system looks like, what it's doing, how it's performing. I'm also trying to give you guys updates as I'm getting updates from Robert Anderson as well. Kind of hopefully keep people updated. The one thing I can tell you is if you have the system, or in the future you start thinking about the system, the way to go with the settings is to grab them from the website. Because my feeling is it sounds like those are the most updated, and I mean people are going to, you're almost held accountable at that point because it's on your site. Those are your settings. So I just went in and changed the settings to those and saved them, and then they say that we'll get an email or some kind of update if any updates are needed in those settings. So with that being said, it's if you're looking at that, that's mainly what this video is kind of catered to. And I'm having some fun with the system. I think the system is fantastic. I'd like to see what the results will be on the P&L. But that's okay. And then tomorrow I will be releasing my oil trade setup, which I took 2 of those today. Both hit well, both hit take profit, full take profit, which is fantastic. And my NQ, I probably won't come out with that video for at least a week or week and a half. It's a simple strategy, but it's a little bit more complicated, I guess, though, is the way to say it. I've got another strategy that I look at, which is a candlestick. It is a candlestick pattern, I kind of call it a momentum candlestick pattern. The guy who showed it on his site, Quant Edge Trade, great guy to check out his videos. The guy's brilliant. I mean, he does some like these updates like on oil and Q, and he says this is what I foresee happening. And man, shit, if he just doesn't, he gets them right a lot of times, you know. So his setups are good. I had an indicator coded for NinjaTrader based on this guy's strategy that he used on the NQ. I've used it on the ES, but I felt like the NQ, the way it rips, it does really well in trending days, as most strategies do. But even on the choppy days, you know, if you can figure out chop, you can get out of things, or you can maybe not take trades. So another thing too is, let me see if I could just, all right, there we go. No, it's weird. This part doesn't, oh, I remember moving it. My bad. So this is the NQ over here, and oil here, RTY here. Yeah, so I had an indicator coded. What I'm going to do is when I release that video, I am going to figure out a way that, you know, for subscribers of my channel, people that want this indicator, I will send it to you free of charge. I got to figure out how to do it. I might even just have to email it. I don't know. I'll figure that part out. But it is only for NinjaTrader. I will go over the strategy, and you can use the strategy anywhere. But the indicator that I had that will pretty much say, hey, your pattern just appeared, get ready for a trade, is strictly with NinjaTrader. NinjaTrader 8, I think, specifically built for. That's really the only thing I don't think I've ever been on. Yeah, I have been on 7. I have been on 7 and upgrade to 8. But regardless of that, it's built for 8, NinjaTrader 8. So I will release that to you guys. And it's an interesting strategy. I like it. So what are we at? 10 o'clock Central Time, October 19th. Just one trade on the RTY for a loss of $80.
Connection.
And I don't know why I keep getting that, but let's see what happens here. So yeah, that's where we're at. I feel like might be a good time to end this video, just because we're at the 53-minute mark. You know, the second I stop the video, there's gonna be another trade setup that happens, and that's gonna drive me nuts. But it is what it is. Slow day with the trading bot, but positive day on my cash account on my other setups. Which another thing, I'll leave you guys with this. Prior to this trading bot being released, I was taking a maximum of 4 trades per day. That is what I have limited myself to. Not limit, but this is the way that my setups have been working for the last, let's just call it 2 months. These last 2 months have been my most profitable months I've ever had in trading. Okay, it's just consistently profitable. I freaking love it. What has changed? Obviously, as I've mentioned, I've become more time-based strategy where if a setup hits during the time that I am looking for, kind of in a window, I take the trade. So I will take typically one trade in the NQ, not typically, one trade in the NQ. The only days that I don't trade is on the NQ is I have not traded on red like big market news, FOMC, even CPI. I just stay away those days. Before I was like, oh, I mean, you look at the chart and you see things ripping 100, 200 points, and you're like, man, that's some awesome action. But yeah, man, that could also rip you. That could destroy you. And I don't like the chop that I see on those days beforehand. People trying to get positioning or position sizing, and I through my journal, I have realized that those days I don't perform well. So I have taken that off of the books. Now, that's on the NQ. Oil, a little bit different. I do take oil on even on some oil inventory days and things like that. But typically, my first trade, so I have the NQ is one of the trades. My second trade and third trade is typically with oil and natural gas. So I actually missed my natural gas setup this morning, just because I was getting this stuff. I mean, the markets here open at 8:30. I got up this morning. I get up typically at around 6:15 in the morning. Today I got up even earlier just so I could get everything ready, and started loading these templates in, and it took me a lot longer than what I thought it was going to take. So I was kind of scrambling there, getting into the open. Missed the natural gas setup that would have been profitable again. Would have been a great trade, which is fine. Like I said, tomorrow I'll see if it happens again. But that is more of a trend channel natural gas trade that is specifically after 8 o'clock. And it has about an hour to an hour and a half window where if the trade setup happens, I'm taking it. And I will show you guys that trade. And then I have the oil setup, which is one trade between 8 and 9 and a second trade between 9 and 10. And that's it. So that if you add up those trades, it's 4 trades, and that's been it. Now, the funny thing is that when this gold line trading bot came out, I legitimately had a concern that this was going to distract me from the trading that I know has been profitable to date. Okay? And I didn't want my focus to take away the focus from something else. And today was a perfect example of that, because if I wasn't trading this auto trader and I wasn't messing around with these settings this morning, I would have gotten into that natural gas trade and I would have made maybe $160. So it cost me money. Just focusing in on something else when you have something that's working. But at the same time, I have been working with this strategy for so long manually that I said, hey, if I could do it now where it's an auto trader and I don't have to be staring at the chart, which I don't necessarily do anymore. I just look at charts for like 2 hours a day, because typically all my setups have hit by 10:30 maximum. So 8:30 to 10:30, that's about 2 hours. And that gives me enough time for me to leave, go to work, I get into the office, and I, typically I'm not showing buyers, houses until the evening. Unless I've got my listings where I'm, going out and showing my listings, that could be almost at any time. But in general, that's easy enough for me to go to do my full-time job. So that's why I gave this a shot. I was thinking about maybe I didn't really need to do it because I didn't need another strategy. It was, I guess if you have another strategy that's making money, that's fantastic. But I didn't want something that's going to distract me from what I have been doing and what I have been doing successfully. So with that being said, I am going to end this video here, and I will see you guys tomorrow with my oil setup. I'm going to explain that thoroughly. I guarantee you guys after my video tomorrow, you'll be able to make that same type of trade setup if you want. If you want to do it, back test it like how I have, and see what kind of results you get. All right. Take care, everybody.